Brought to you by Farm2Feast.
Welcome back, everyone, and to Farm2Feast, the podcast where we deep dive into game-changing innovations shaping the future of agriculture and climate resilience. Today, we're taking farming to space. Yes, you heard that right, to space. My guests today are Antonio and Raul from LambdAI Space, a company that uses AI-powered satellites to track environmental shifts and help farmers boost yields by predicting climate risks and optimizing resources like you've never seen it before. If you're a commercial farmer, an agribusiness leader, an investor looking for the next big breakthrough in ag tech, you won't want to miss this episode. Imagine knowing weeks in advance if droughts, floods, or pest outbreaks are coming, and being able to act before they happen. Well, that's what the LambdAI team does. They make.
I wanted to mention, because at the beginning you say we can make predictions of things. We're not the one that make the prediction. We can provide the data to the individuals that they can do the prediction, risk analysis, but we provide the all data sets, right, that they can make the prediction.
Yes.
Perhaps I just wanted to clarify, just to make sure that we don't they meet the expectation, right? So.
Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Norris.
Hi, Norris. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Guys, I wanted to maybe start off at the beginning, the inception of this idea. When I first heard about it, I said, this is fantastic and exciting. But I wanted you guys to maybe take us back to the beginning of what inspired you to start,
A few years back, so we're catching up, and essentially we started and we ended up talking about space. And so we're looking at how this was developing and how fast this market was evolving, and the technology that it was now available in orbit. It was growing, and so we saw, wow, this is very interesting. And so we started looking at also all these. It was actually during the COVID time, so we're looking at especially some of the climate, how the climate was reacting, and all the climate event challenges we had even before that. So we find an angle on how we could really leverage this tech in order to make an impact, right? And that's basically where all this started. Somehow, right? And then we went deeper into different elements of it when we looked at the needs that essentially financial service had, where there is a lack of having this technology at scale, right? So that's how it all started, and where it led us to today.
Yeah, and I can also add that at that time it was also, the timing that a few things were converging, right? So the interest of space, mostly because what's been happening with the SpaceX, and as well as the rapid evolution of accessibility to very advanced AI capabilities and computational power. So I think we decided to really, so we've been talking about this for years. I've been, with my background in basically space technology, I've been following this for many, many years. And yeah, you start to see that the stars were aligning in terms of, satellite technology, the ability to get access to open data in the optical spectrum, in radar, and then suddenly the potential of AI models. And in the last few years, it's like impressive, right? So, we had this, we talk about a lot, but yeah, suddenly we decided to jump because it was the time was, like now or never, basically.
Awesome. You know, when I look at this space, AI, the AI space, and I'm like, land surveying, farming, are not the first things that people think of, like those risks. So I wanted you to maybe take us through, the problem that Lambda AI is trying to solve in its totality, and why is it critical now?
Yeah, I can explain a bit about. So there
Yeah.
is a few challenges, Norris, that um, we we see that is impacting mainly agriculture, right? Today, and is so all this number of different climate events that are growing year after year is putting governments, insurance companies, whoever that works into the farming ecosystem, agriculture ecosystem, into struggle. And so the ability, just to start very simple, the ability of already understand the impact that this climate event has brought to certain areas. It is becoming so frequent that to assess that is becoming a challenge, a real challenge. But not only that is also what understanding now what is the propensity, providing the right data and be able to understand the propensity that certain maybe field or area might have. This can be it's a challenge for many operators in the market. We can provide that the data to be able to do the studies that can lead to better understand what could potentially happen to a certain to certain fields, for example, so to certain areas.
Excellent. Raul, maybe you can take us through the technology. And my question was really, the platform integrates AI and physics-based algorithm. If that's correct, you may correct me. This is what I understand from it. What can you just explain, maybe in layman terms, what that means to farmers or to people in agribusiness or landowners?
Yeah. So basically what it means is, for the first time, we make a very powerful technology accessible in terms of cost and insights to people that really need it. Because traditionally, what has happened is high resolution satellite imagery, which many times is what you need to really determine assessment of, like adverse weather events, whatever is hail, whatever is droughts, whatever floods, is extremely expensive. Just to give you an idea, um, when you're an insurance company and when you're a farmer, you would like to start monitoring during the whole crop season that goes through either the whole year or 6 months or whatever. But it's not just an image. And the problem is, when you're looking at, I'll give you an example. Very high resolution imagery of a square of 100 kilometers by 100 kilometers, which is 10,000 square kilometers, can cost you $500,000. So you can imagine that, well, getting just one image that size already, prohibitive. But if you need to repeat that on an regular interval, it's just impossible, right? So we have developed, with the advent of AI and then the knowledge about phenology, which is basically the study of the crop evolution and many other aspects of the science of crops and the science of weather events being monitored from space. We have developed a technology that allows us to use open imagery, basically free imagery, which is not very high resolution, and to make it extremely actionable in the same way as if you were buying the very high resolution images. So that means we reduce the cost by a factor of 100 or more. And when I say that we use physics-guided AI means that it's not just data-driven. It's not that we just code a model and we dump a lot of data over there. No, because the problem with machine learning models is that there are many. The solution space is very wide. So there are solutions of, let's say, those pattern recognition systems that from the model is a valid solution, but from the real world is not. So we guide the machine learning models with the understanding of how these crops evolve. And this is based on science, it's based on equations, mathematical models, simulations, and stuff like that. So I always say that our company actually is two companies in one. One that does all this remote assessing, monitoring stuff, and the other one that the one that trains very sophisticated models using synthetic data generation. Because one of the issues that you find is, especially in certain parts of the spectrum, is that there's not a lot of available data because it's very expensive to allow you to train these models. These models are very data hungry. So we have developed the technology to create very high fidelity simulations of the signal that we want to measure. That is basically the light reflected, the radio backscattering reflected on crops, how they will look like from the satellite platforms that we use. So that is simulated with with physics, and basically we create all this kind of, you could think of digital twins of crops that look very similar, and then we can create a lot of data around that, which is validated with ground truth data. So we have collaborations with one of the top research universities in the world that have been doing crop monitoring, especially using synthetic aperture radar. And we are very lucky that we have access to a lot of ground truth data, so we can really validate those models.
That also takes me now to our next, the next thing that I was thinking of. For investors tuning in, where is the real business opportunity in AI-powered satellite monitoring? And maybe Antonio, you could jump in. Feel free to jump in on this one.
Hey, no, worries, yeah. So, from an investment perspective, you have to think about, this is an industry um, that's impacted by several factors, right? So as I mentioned at the beginning, space. So we're seeing now the infrastructure per se are becoming more mainstream. So with some of the key player making it extremely affordable to start sending a satellite of space, we might see probably in the next coming years more and more sensors available, also more affordable solution. And so the amount of the amount of data that we will be able to access will be increasing drastically. The other part is, as Raul also mentioned, the models, the technology that enables us to be able to do those detection with accuracy and at scale. It's developing, as you must see, all the different AI players and what is happening into the generative AI world, right? And not only that, also the infrastructure behind that, or the cloud, the computing. NVIDIA recently has also shared that they have now a super small hardware, super performing. So it's really getting there. So the whole ecosystem to be able to enable this type of technology at scale is literally shaping up. And on the other side is the challenge, is the events, right? The number of climate events are becoming more and more unpredictable. They are becoming more and more devastating. And so more than ever, we need we need the technology that enables us to really better understand the impact that those events are. And on top of that, there is the demand that the companies around this type of business are in the need to be able to use a technology that helps them to better understand. So we have scenarios where just talking about just insurance business, for example, they're even pulling out of these climate events. So pushing the governments to force them back into this business by providing grants, subsidizing them to be able to support farmers into these games. So there is definitely a massive opportunity into this as we see ahead of us.
There was a question that I think most recent events, which were really popular on TV, was well, not popular in the I think maybe in the neck is not the right word, but sad to see was the California wildfires. And what I do know about what happened in that scenario was that certain people in certain suburbs just couldn't be insured. So I wanted to know a technology like this, maybe me as an insurance player, or maybe me as a farmer, in the shoes of a farmer who's has to who lives with these realities. What are what's the advantage of having this kind of technology maybe from the insurance side, and what's the advantage of having maybe this kind of technology from a farmer side who has to deal with realities like maybe wildfires and the like?
So I can I start from a farming perspective, right? So if you think about the use cases, the ability from a farmer um, to to use these type of data sets can be very helpful. First for their operations, understanding already the quality of their crops. So this can be already one element to understand whether there is damage, if they're growing healthy, especially if you think about very vast plantations. You can just monitor every inch of your land. It is very time consuming. So by having already these and also being able to understand the yield, or be able to even predict what could be the yield at some point, this is definitely a great benefit for farmers. But then it's also affecting indirectly, like working with other entities such as government and financial services in general. So if you might think for in the insurance scenario, so they could be more proactive in the way collaborating with insurance and making sure that they are following exactly what insurance are telling them to do. So are they complying? Are they using, are they going to the right directions? So this is what can really help them with. And eventually they will also benefit by using stable technology, is also benefit of lower premiums. If you think insurance company can now switch to using an entire parametric product, for example. So by lowering the cost of the insurance, so the farmer could be now better protected than they could be before. And then there is also an element of sustainability, when we talk about agroforestry and so on, carbons. So this is all parameters that can be definitely observed, right? And can be definitely also for the farmer from a farm perspective, right? In order to comply to the new regulatories around that. When we talk about insurance, like the wildfire, I think this is also another key element. So it's essentially, if you think of the very similar parameters. So when you use when you have a better tool to predict or to understand the whole landscape, then you can make this as an insurance company. You can make this decision with more confidence and be able to insure also who was not insurable, let's say before. Right?
I love it. I think my question here was, could AI-driven satellite data become a standard tool for precision agriculture worldwide? Is this what we're looking at?
I think it's becoming already. The thing is, I mean, it's absolutely, it's just gonna get better. It's gonna get better because right now, if you think about it, so it's not only how good our eyes are looking down, but also the frequency. So we still don't have fleet of satellites that can provide real-time video, continuous video. I mean, that would be potentially at some point, although the technology challenges are quite big, that would be, like continuity, not only spatially, but temporally, right? So it's just gonna get better, more efficient satellites, platform sensors, AI all over the place with, more sophisticated models, AGI on top of that. We with advantages like, many of these sensors, like radar, doesn't depend on the weather or if it's night or day. So you can think about it. So in terms of cost, in terms of coverage, in terms of, it's just too good to be true sometimes, right? And yeah, so the economies of scale just bringing down the cost. And yeah, I mean, this is already becoming a necessity, and it's gonna be, like it's becoming a revolution. Everything that is related to the convergence of AI and so many businesses that they really have a need or have been, let's say, blind or in the dark because they didn't have enough access to data. So absolutely, I think.
And then maybe take us through what's next for Lambda AI. Do you guys have what's the next goal for you guys as you grow and scale this business? What are you looking forward to in the next coming years? Let's say let's give it like a, let's say, 5 to 10 year trajectory.
I think we can talk, Antonio, probably from the business point of view. I can give you some glimpse on technology point of view. So, Antonio, you want to start?
Yeah, I can go. I can start. Yeah. So what we look at in the next years to become the go-to providers for insurance financial services when they need those insight at scale, and definitely start expanding in also other first of all markets and also industries. We see that there is the need of having solution like this. It's been growing. It's going to be very beneficial for many industry, for many different points, not only for understanding the climate impact, but also for being able, I should say, not to just react, but also to prevent. So I think this could be an amazing point where we will be able to be able to get ready to handle climate events, extreme climate events. Either they will be affecting agriculture or will be affecting assets. I think this will be a great place to be.
And from a tech point of view?
Yeah, from a tech point, I think I gave some glimpse already. So definitely, right now, we are kind of getting their very deep expertise in terms of what the data means, what the data really, what we can extract from the data using, let's say, the beginning of really the potential of AI, right? So we hope with all the insights that we're getting, we're working with customers, the technology we build is giving us first mover advantages into using that later on for develop more advanced solutions that also incorporate hardware, as I mentioned. In our longer term view, the 3 to 5 years, we are looking at partnering with some hardware technology companies to be able to build, smaller satellites that are very cost effective, way better in terms of sensors and embedded AI on top of that to really extract and being very tailor-made to specific industries like insurance for agro insurance or asset monitoring. So, we could work with these companies to provide this kind of data or even build this technology for them. So it's open to that, right? And then push the limit is in terms of, when, AGI is coming very soon, right? So all this data is not publicly available on the internet. I mean, the things that we are doing is it has very unique value, right? So we are in a position to really push the boundaries in terms of AGI for Earth observations and for planets, right? For the planet. And even looking way beyond is like, right now we are looking at Earth, and that's a lot of things to be done there. But as the space industry is moving ahead, you could think of remote monitoring related to space mining, or remote monitoring when there are, certain colonies on Mars or stuff like that. All that, which is basically how you can really understand environments that are really far from you, and you really need to monitor things going on. It's really a massive opportunity and a massive task to undertake. So I would say, yeah, getting the knowledge from an AI software point of view, then moving into partnerships to build our own platforms, and then from there we will see. I think with that is a lot already that we have in our plate.
I love it, man. I can already tell. I know when I first found out about this, there is a feeling of the time is now, and I do feel that those that want to participate will also get the feeling that this is a great place within the impact climate ag tech space to play a part in. I want to ask you guys maybe one last question before we wrap it up. If you could give any one piece of advice to maybe farmers or investors about preparing for the future of agriculture, what would it be? We can start with Antonio, and then Raul, you can go ahead.
That's a great question, Loris. I know that this is probably there is a crowded space into when you think about Earth observation. There is a lot of options outside there, but make sure that you make a difference between, just raw satellite imageries are not, I can't serve all the use cases, can't really answer questions. You need expertise, they need to be interpreted, they need a lot of work behind it. I think leveraging tools and what it really matters is insights, right? So it's important to leverage the right provider, the right tools that can provide an input, can provide a meaningful input that can bring a change. So that's for a farmer, for investor perspective. It's really who is solving today the critical problem, right? So it's who is solving the biggest pain points, because at least in our experience, we see many investors that they have been talking to companies into this space, and they sometimes they don't know who's going to be the winner into this race. I think is really look at who is really solving a critical point, and might be a critical point in the future, in the future, and in the largest market.
Awesome. And Raul, anything you want to add to that one? Same question.
Yes, I think if I would say, I come from actually. So my father, yes, it's an anecdote here. So my father was a teacher. He's retired now, but he also had, a big farm. I'm from the Canary Islands, next to Africa. So it's they have an industrial agriculture economy on banana, stuff like that. And one of the things that I remember is like the disconnection between the people that are working on offices with computers or whatever, and the realities of what it really means agriculture. I think what is important here is to help these people to understand the value that it brings, because when you talk about this, they say, well, it's going to cost me money, but I don't know, I don't need this or something like that. So try to educate them, and at the same time, for people like us to understand exactly what are the challenges on the ground. Because, it could be very easy that, technology people that we are passionate about that, and I'm lucky that I understand the agriculture business somehow, are really sometimes very disconnected from the end users. And we say that in other industries on AI. we create a set of features, and when you look at your end customer, is like, they don't really need this, or they don't understand, or stuff like that. So I would say, for farmers is like, would love to really educate them more on the, or try to share more on the values that these have, and really that is an important investment probably for them. And I think it's happening already anyway, because thanks to the mobile phone, people are caught very used to technology, right? So suddenly you could see the value of the market value of certain crops, the weather events. So I think we're getting there. But in terms of the satellite and the insights, I mean, the trust we need to build first with insurance as well, and the farmers, and the other way around for us as well. Like, we need to really understand on the ground what the issues are.
Yeah, you can either reach out to us on LinkedIn. So we're on LinkedIn, and or our website, which is LambdAI Space, LambdAI.space. Yeah.
Yes. So basically that, and then in our cities respectively, we always can have a coffee. They can reach to us LinkedIn or our website. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. And thank you for your time.